Welcome to the channel where we turn panic into punchlines and fears into, well, slightly smaller fears. Today, we're talking about phobias, those totally irrational but very real fears that make you scream over spiders smaller than your fingernail or break out in a cold sweat over speaking in front of 20 classmates. Listen, we've all been there. Let's jump into the top 10 phobias common in students and some hilariously simple tips to deal with them. And hey, if you relate to any of these, don't worry, we won't tell anyone, or will we? Let's find out. Let's start with the fear of public speaking. You know, when the teacher calls your name, and suddenly your mouth is drier than the Sahara Desert, your hands are shaking like you've had 15 cups of coffee, and you forget your name mid-sentence. Good luck explaining the Pythagorean theorem solo. But hey, I get it. Public speaking can be scary. So what's the solution to this whole public speaking phobia? Practice, my friends. Practice in front of friends, family, or even your dog. Dogs are great because they'll listen without interrupting, unlike your classmates who might start texting while you're speaking. Ah yes, the dreaded exams, the bane of every student's existence. They say the best way to prepare for a test is to study, but we all know the real strategy is crying into a pile of textbooks at 2 a.m. It's enough to make you want to fake a cold and hide under the covers. Solution? Okay, I'm gonna sound like your parents here, but actually study. Yeah, I know, groundbreaking advice, right? But seriously, start early, take breaks, and remember, no one has ever died from getting a B. Except maybe perfectionists. But we'll get to them later. Raise your hand if you've ever walked into a cafeteria, looked around and thought, where do I sit without looking like a total loser? Social anxiety is real, people. And don't even get me started on school dances. It's like a high school movie cliche come to life. But hey, it doesn't have to be this way. You can overcome your social phobia, one awkward conversation at a time. My advice? Start small. Compliment someone's shoes, ask about their weekend plans, or offer to share your notes. Chapter 4. Atychophobia, or the fear of failure. This is for all my overachievers out there. You know who you are. You're the ones who get straight A's, captain the debate team, and volunteer at the local soup kitchen on weekends. But here's the thing about being an overachiever. You're terrified of failure. Let me tell you a little secret. It's okay to fail. In fact, it's more than okay. It's necessary. Failure is how we learn, how we grow, and how we become more resilient human beings. Homophobia, or the fear of being without a phone. You know that mini heart attack when you realize you left your phone at home? It's like, what if someone texts me? What if I miss a meme? Here's the thing. We survived for centuries without smartphones. My challenge to you, try leaving your phone in another room for 30 minutes and see if you survive. Spoiler alert, you will. Probably. Mysophobia, or the fear of germs. Thanks to, well, recent events, mysophobia has gone from, I'm just being careful to I sanitize my groceries before putting them in the fridge. Germs are gross. Nobody wants to get sick. But sometimes our fear of germs can get a little, shall we say, out of control. Yes, hygiene is important, but unless you're planning to hug a germ factory, you're probably okay with normal washing habits. And no, your classmate's pen isn't going to give you super germs. Probably. Remember that time in gym class when they asked you to climb the rope? And you were like, yeah, no thanks, I value my life. Heights aren't for everyone, okay? Some people are perfectly content with keeping their feet firmly planted on the ground. Thank you very much. But for those of us with acrophobia, even the thought of being high up can send shivers down our spines. Elevators? No way. Roller coasters? Forget about it. Even standing on a chair to change a light bulb can feel like a death-defying feat. But hey, if you're afraid of heights, don't worry. You can start small, like standing on a step stool. No shame in working your way up, literally. Claustrophobia, or the fear of small spaces. If the school bus feels like a prison on wheels, you might have a touch of claustrophobia. Claustrophobia is no joke, people. It's that feeling of being trapped, suffocated, and unable to escape. So, what can you do if you're claustrophobic? Well, first of all, avoid small spaces whenever possible. But when that's not an option, try to focus on your breathing. Visualize a calming scene and remind yourself that it's only temporary. The classic fear of rejection. This one's universal, folks. Whether it's asking someone to prom, applying for a dream job, or just trying to make a new friend, putting yourself out there can feel terrifying. And the worst part is, Sometimes you do get rejected. It happens to the best of us. But here's the thing. Rejection is not the end of the world. In fact, it's just a redirection. Take the risk anyway. Worst case, they say no. Best case, you've got a cool story and maybe a date to prom. Last but not least, we have nyctophobia, the fear of darkness. Yes, even teenagers can get creeped out by a dark room. But seriously, folks, the fear of darkness is a real thing, and it can be pretty debilitating. Suddenly, every shadow becomes a lurking creature. Every creak in the floorboards becomes a serial killer approaching. So, if you're afraid of the dark, you're not alone. Get a nightlight, no judgment, or just leave Netflix running until you fall asleep. Works every time. And that's it for today, folks. Whether it's heights, germs, or just fear of failure, we've all got something that makes us panic a little. The good news? You're not alone. And every fear can be managed, even if it takes a little humor to get there. Remember, life is too short to let fear hold you back. So go out there, face your phobias, and don't forget to laugh along the way. If you liked this video, hit the thumbs up button, share it with your friends, unless they're afraid of funny YouTube videos. And don't forget to subscribe for more laughs and life advice. See you next time, unless you're afraid of YouTube subscriptions, in which case we'll work on that too.